Buckeye Talk coming to you from Ohio State. I'm Nathan Baird from cleveland.com, along with Stephen Means and Doug Lesmerises. We just got done talking to Ryan Day about what happened during the Akron game and looking ahead to Saturday's game at Rutgers. And obviously a big topic of conversation is what's happening with the quarterback position. How healthy is C.J. Stroud, or how healthy does he seem? They haven't returned to full practice yet. That'll happen in a couple hours behind us. And who's going to start on Saturday? And Ryan Day made it pretty clear that C.J. Stroud, if healthy, is this team's starting quarterback. Kind of no question about that. I would expect him to be the four-quarter starting quarterback on Saturday, and had a pretty blunt assessment of Kyle McCord that I thought was, yes, he did some good things, but the word he used was inconsistent, and especially in the way that he read the game and the reads he made and some of the looks he was seeing out there. So, Doug, I guess what did it surprise you, the assessment that Ryan Day put out there today, and what did that mean to you?
So I thought the two things that mattered the most was his evaluation of how he played was inconsistent, and then he said he played like he's practiced. And it's like, oh, so he's practiced inconsistently. And Ryan Day has talked a lot, and I asked him about it sort of in general with all the positions. He just talked a lot about guys need to practice better, right? And that they've really tied playing time to needing to practice better. And that's where I think we've seen it at multiple positions. It feels like that's where they are here, that he re-emphasized that with Kyle McCord. And, yeah, I mean, like, I would like to see more of Kyle McCord. It doesn't feel like Ryan Day wants to see more of Kyle McCord right now. Not on Saturday, because he wants to see more. Yes. I'm pointing to the practice field. He wants to see more here before he needs to see more there. So I find it very interesting, and I still am leaving some room for – they talk about guys in there, I think, how they think they need to be talked about. And I think maybe Kyle McCord is a guy who needs to be coached hard. And so Ryan Day is going to be like, hey, man, not good enough, right? And maybe there are other guys who need to be coached in a different way, and so you talk about them differently. But, yeah, that was as blunt, I think, of an assessment of a player as maybe I've ever heard Ryan Day do in 3 years here as a head coach.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting, and we've sort of speculated this whole time that, like, you know, when we see these guys in very short bursts coming into the season, we saw them in just some small practice windows, not a lot of scrimmage opportunities. We saw them in the spring game, and in the spring game, I thought we all came away we thought, you know, C.J. Stroud was maybe the more consistent person that day, but you saw the potential, like, peak of Kyle McCord in that game and what could be there, considering he'd only been on campus for a few weeks at that point, and sort of speculating that maybe it's, you know, behind the scenes, day after day after day after day, it is the consistency of Stroud that was what Ryan Day was ultimately picking there. I guess, Stephen, what do you kind of expect to be maybe the short term of this? Because it seems like right now, unless there's a lopsided game, that Ohio State's got one quarterback right now and a true backup.
Yeah, C.J. Stroud's a starting quarterback because, quite frankly, when you say he's played like he's practiced, that means he's continuously making the same mistakes. He's not making new mistakes. And by the way he talked today, by the way he was talking when I rewatched the game, when he talked to BTN after the game, the reactions he was giving when they would pan the camera to Ryan Day after Kyle McCord's throws, it's the same mistake. Time and time again. And obviously we're not at practice, but the reaction he gives means it's the same mistakes. While with C.J. Stroud, maybe he's just making new mistakes as he continues to grow into this role. So I just expect C.J. Stroud to be a starting quarterback, and we'll see what Kyle McCord when we see him.
I tried to ask Ryan Day about this actually back during preseason camp, because some conversations I'd had with people about how he had tried to, like, sort of challenge these guys mentally. And I think Doug is right that I think as a coach, you probably can't coach everybody the same way, that there's probably guys that you try to push their buttons in a specific way and you're trying to get under their skin a little bit. You're trying to rattle them because you can't rattle them in a practice the way they're going to be rattled in a game. You have to find another way to kind of break through that. And I think you're right, Doug. I think I'm starting to get the impression that there is a different way that he probably talks about and to C.J. Stroud compared to how he talks about and to Kyle McCord. Probably not just to us, but probably to them directly.
Yeah, no, I think that's good. Long video. I already said what I need to say.
All right. We'll have more to say, so get the text, 614-350-3315, 2-week free trial before $3.99 a month, and come back to Buckeye Talk 5 days a week.